All right, on to game 2 here. See, they seem to be in row 6 again. On the far side. Row 4 on the near side. Starting off with a pretty good jump server. I'm sure trying to get some points to start off with. She's a pretty consistent jump server. Great serve. All right, so pretty amazing rally to start the game off. This is pretty high level of volleyball here. Let's go from the start. So I'd like to see her toss a little bit further in the court. She kind of does up and down and doesn't really drive into the court that much, but still puts a lot of heat on it. Really good diving save. You can see the foot really go out first, and then her hands are really beating the ball to the spot. Her hands are out there so quickly. She doesn't let the ball get behind her, which is really good. She's out there way early. That's a pretty fast jump serve. Nice high ball situation. Amazing. Finally, Tatiana hit some line here. Gave her enough line, stepped inside. This was an inside set. She got inside pretty quickly and then turned it. I would like to see her hit a little bit harder than that, though. Good spacing where she is. I mean, she could have either dropped it more down the line easier or hit harder. I think she just kind of hit at medium speed, which is kind of... Medium doesn't... I don't know, you kind of got to hit it pretty hard, or you got to take some speed off of it and put deception. Medium is just pretty much a safe play. Good dig. I like the dig and I like the transition hit. So it's a good dig, and I like how quickly she gets up to hit the back row here. Middle's out of the play. Here we go. We can just go to the outside. So we basically have a race to the pins here. A little late on the block. She should be there when the ball's there when the ball's being hit, or there. Good placement. You can see the diggers are pretty lined up around the block, which is nice. She's funneling a block. Pretty good dig. A little exuberant on the after dig, but she got it up. She put her hips pretty far, drastically up here. You can see when she digs, she's really pushing her hips and her whole body is lifting. You can see her arms lifting up, and she almost bends back over her knees so the hips go straight up, which is good. A little bit of exaggeration, but it's still a pretty nice dig over here to get the hips up. Joust play. I don't like hitting straight ahead on a joust play, like either pushing and then moving it forward to the side or thing, but way to get up and get quickly on top of that. That ball was hit. This play. So get up, ball finds you. For some reason, the ball finds you. So most players will probably just stay on the ground and kind of relax for a second. You can see how the ball finds you quickly. She had to get up and make it. And she's 6'4", so she has to make a big, kind of a full extension body. If she wasn't up early, that wouldn't have been a good play. Good reaction by the middle to put that hand up there. And good. Tatiana's been hitting a lot of... She had a ton of success hitting underneath the block. She's a really 4-to-4 hitter, which is 4 outside hitting positions to the other 4 outside hitting position. So she's hitting a lot of this nice seam. So I'm not sure why the middle... You can see her trying to manipulate the hand. You can see her already trying to move because you see she's doing a good job of like trying to move and get underneath. It's still a pretty good hit there. Yeah, it's a pretty good swing. She's trying to, even the middle is trying to press and get over that net. Maybe try to go a little bit wider, but then you have a chance of hitting a field goal. It's a pretty good 4-4 shot. I think Hills right here is a little bit too far inside. I'd like to see a little bit more because she's not hitting it here. She's not hitting it straight down. Even if you're not going to dig that ball that's inside the block, that's the block's fault. I think she's further over here because you can see the libero and her are overlapping. That's not good. Libero's good spot. She should be a little bit more towards the line because they're overlapping here. That's not good. And you should never get beat to your left if you're playing left front there. You should always get beat into the court. That's strange. And she got beat back to her left. That means she's really inside. Pretty high level of play for the first play, though. Pretty high level to start off the second set. So we got, obviously, they're picking on here these two angles. This is always the best serve for this situation because you're taking out this live hitter. They're in row 4, but the middle here has been 17 here has been struggling pretty hard serving. So let's see if they go after her. I'm pretty sure they're going to avoid this whole area. Yeah, they try to go down the line. They try to pass her over here so that way your outside hitter gets taken kind of this direction on accident and gets taken back. You want your live hitter to get taken back to this corner as far as possible because then it takes them so long to get back into the play and you can't run your offense at a normal speed. Hill also isn't, I mean, she's a decent passer. She's not a top passer. She's a pretty tall girl. They have two not the greatest outside passers and one really good libero passer. They're serving Tatiana a lot here. This outside hitter is struggling. I like the pipe play. I like how they're kind of funneling it. They're really funneling it. Here's their block. Block's taking away all this. So they're just funneling this straight line right to the libero. And it's tough, especially at high levels. Even in the women's game, it's tough to beat a good libero with speed if they're funneled it right to them. So that was just easy for her. Good blocking move. She's pretty centered. Really pushes off that outside. She's drifting into the play, which is good. Her hands are up drifting, and then she centers them, so the ball ricochets up, not out of bounds. It's nice. It's a pretty good touch. 17's not playing the best, but Tatiana. Tatiana has been hitting really well on the right, but trying too extreme. She tries to sneak that ball too much underneath. Here you go, Hill again. Hill's got a pretty good serve. She kind of flips the ball to her right side and then gets a good jump float on it. So this is a pretty tough serve. That's a great serve. Yeah, Hill's got a great serve. I'm like calling a lift. That's interesting. She's back row anyways. Doesn't matter. Again, Hill hits that pretty flat. She's 6'4". They are serving to the left, area 1 a lot. Now she's mixing it up. Bad decision. Yeah, Tatiana makes a good mistake here. Or not a mistake, but she corrects her mistake from the last play. This this middle's going really high. Tatiana's not killing the ball over the top at all. We got an overrun by the outside blocker. You can see that she's really trying to cover up that mistake. Look how far. Look where the ball's being contacted here. And look how far away. The ball's here, and look how far away this blocker is. That's not a good job. This number 5, though, is flying as a middle blocker. She's jumping really well. Let's look at her footwork really quick. So hands up, which is pretty good here. Hands are up, neutral, nice. Right when the setter, she's reading this. She's reading her back push. She reads it pretty well. She loads up, and not a big step. It's okay, but a really big second step, which I like. I like a big second step here. That way you can kind of react and then make a good reaction strong on that second step. So that launches her. So this launch step is pretty good. Nice parallel, little elbow bent arm double lift here. But she's reaching at her. You got to get back quickly. I see a lot of times blockers are so close. The difference between a stuff block and a miss block is just finishing your move earlier, a second earlier. And this comes down to knowing your mechanics of the other outside hitters. That's why we went over arm swings and loads and different things. And then you have to really know the different levels of where your hitter hits at. These all factor into when you need to press over. Because if she was there or a little bit lower, look how this ball gets. It's 2 feet underneath. You want to block with your hands. It's 2 feet underneath her hands. So she's really reaching way too high for a hitter that's hitting the last couple balls under the tape. If she was there when that ball was being hit, she would have thunder blocked that ball too. So finishing your move, that comes down to knowing the hitter and hitting the hitter's timer of when they hit. Yeah, late move. Middle's jumping pretty well though there. Again, normal serve and la. Serve 17, she passed it pretty well. Good over, good delay. This setter's got a really good delay. I like that. She's not a super fancy setter, but she uses really good technique and really steady back platform to be deceptive. Smart shot. I'm not sure if she's obviously going for a high hands hit. Just barely nicks the third blocker. She does, I still can't believe I forget her name. The Korean outside hitter here, she has hit that pretty extreme cross-court low. So not a bad job going up 3. She can hit that underneath the middle. She's shown that ability, so whether they go 3-man or 2-man and played perimeter defense, that's kind of a game time in the time decision. So again, they serve hill. They're serving that corner. And this is just having a good opposite. This is a nice just traditional play to the left, and then you're getting a little bit of isolation one-on-one here. And this is just, okay, we have a big opposite. You see this in the men's game a lot. You see this in the top women's team, and you see this in the men's game a lot. They set their opposite one-on-one. They try to get one, and then you just kind of overload the left, and then go really far away You can see she's in the half court. She's getting half court over there. And she's just hitting high and hard. So as the blocker, you got to make sure that maybe you're not going to stuff this ball because she's hitting it so high and hard, but really make sure that those hands are on contact facing somewhat into the direction of the court or up. This will unfortunately hit her on the inside of the wrist, which is difficult, and then bounce that way. But just making sure that your hands are facing into the court so that you don't get this ricochet like that. That was in the inside of the hands, but that's just what happens when you hit it pretty high and hard. But I do like that. I like how it's isolated, and then you go way back to your superstar opposite. There's that hit by the Korean opposite, or outside. That inside underneath the block. Yeah, it's a high block to jump over. Again, they've been really creeping inside there. Again, both is a different middle. But 17 is not setting up so much. It's a poor job by the middle's right hand. It's got to be over the net. You got to slow down Boscovich right now. She's pretty on fire the last set and a half. Or not set and a half, but set in the start of this set. She started off real slow. Now she's getting easy kills. Now she's serving. She slowed herself down. Okay, that's unfortunate. Let's see what 17's got here. Pretty much the easiest serve possible. Hill is a great blocker for a slide. I think she's probably one of the best slide blockers I've ever seen, to be honest. She does a really good job of timing. Maybe because she was a middle also at Pepperdine, and maybe that she played. But she just times it so well. Look at her feet here. She's got the height and athleticism and jump, but she's also got the coordination of timing this hitter with her feet. That hitter gets her arms back, she gets her arms back. That hitter starts to get up on her foot, she gets up on her foot. That hitter starts to turn, she turns. That hitter jumps and hits, she's over the net quickly. You can see that ball gets blocked straight down. It's amazing. But if you really want to learn the mechanics of blocking swing blocking on a slide hitter at the top level, see how she's rotating in, she's timing it with her, she's seeing it. She gets all the way out to the pin with her, and then she's way over before she hits it. Yeah, she's one of the best I've seen with this. I've seen a lot of film of her. I've seen a lot of her playing. She's pretty impressive swing on a slide blocker. Wow. Yeah, that's what's going to happen if you do that. Again, there's some setting mistakes here. Mistiming out. I know it's a bad pass. She kind of gets back on her heels. You can see this foot lift up pretty well. You can see that foot get off the ground pretty hard on her pass. And then her platform, everything breaks. Not a great pass, but You got to do something better with that. You just have such a dominant opposite here. You have such a dominant right side hitter that jumps so well. And even on her who's 6'4", but she's moving there, she's still hitting over the top of people. And she's hitting it over the top, but she's also hitting it with speed and control, so it's just ricocheting off people. My guess is here, this is their best rotation, obviously, because they have her and Kim front row, and Seven's pretty offensive too, so they got to do something with this rotation. If they don't get a lot of points of this rotation, it's going to be a tough back and forth game. If they do get some points out of this rotation, it's definitely going to hurt the orange team. I can't pronounce their names. Turkish team, top Turkish team. And you got Boskovic in the back row. This is the time to do it here. Got to make something really happen here. If I was the coach, I would be going over the importance of getting high balls and killing this rotation. If I was the orange team, and if I was the blue team, I would be talking about how we have to press a lot quicker and lower on our block, because they're not hitting over us right now. They're hitting around us and then through us, and making sure that we're making our moves early. That way our defense can get around it too. Good job of transition hitting. Let's keep that going. Again, there you go. So Tatiana's really struggling. She's really jumping up out of the way here. Really struggling passing. Every ball's got to be on her right now. It's a death row right now because Tatiana's hitting the best for the team, and she's back row, and then Boskovic is up back row too. Well, why would you do that? Why would you do that too? I don't understand this. I don't understand those two moves there. And I don't understand the serving location. I don't understand the dump. The middles have showed twice, 3 times already that they can get a hand on that and read that. They're reading her pretty well. She's not being deceptive at all. The orange setter. Another timeout. Yeah, the coach knows this is not a good row for them. This is not a good situation. Again, you got to run a slide with a pipe, or you got to run an overload to the left and set Boskovic on a D with one-on-one. I'd probably run. If I was going to run a play right now, I'd have to get a good pass or pass it somewhere over here, and then launch it way back to Boskovic. Hopefully one-on-one. She gets paid a lot of money. This is what you pay your opposite for. This is why you need a big opposite. Let's see, they've done something different here. They've switched up some players. All right, so they changed up. They took out Boskovic. Let me rewind this. I didn't see what they did. Let me go back. I must have missed that. Ah, that's what they did. I thought it was a challenge. Sorry. So yeah, they're struggling in this row. I thought that was a challenge. It was not a double sub, so they're changing the setter Usually they don't let that happen. That's what threw me off. Honestly, you're so used to them having the rest being so regulated here. This player just comes on the court so quickly. That's usually they take a long time, and that's not really allowed. That's why it kind of threw me off a little bit. So yeah, so I would, like I said, I would have this back attack overload this way, but now since they've run a 6-2 here and a timeout, so I thought they challenged and they lost the challenge and they called a timeout. So I guess I'm sure they called timeout to run this play because they know this is a crucial point in this game. This game is slipping away a little bit and they're not good in this row, and the Italian team has set up pretty well in this rotation. And Tatiana is not passing very well. So right now, what you do is in this rotation is you take out your front row setter. So Boskovic would have been here right back. Now you put a back row player for her, and now you have a front row opposite. Basically, it's a row one mirror. Now you have Korean outside opposite, and then Tatiana can run a pretty good pipe, which she's been doing. So now you can kind of spread out the offense. But you need a pass, obviously, for this to do anything. Why would you serve libero? That's crazy to me. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that the coach would tell him to serve the libero. I just have to think that she missed her. I don't know. I don't get it. I guess because they did change the row because the outside hitter was here, and then I don't know if this was a coaching mistake or a player mistake in her mind, because Tatiana was passing here, but she was actually passing in the middle here. So it was actually Tatiana in the middle, and then they were stacked. So the Korean outside hitter was over here, and then the libero was over here. So it was like libero, Tatiana, Korean outside hitter. But now, since they've gone back to this row one, the Korean outside hitter went here, libero was actually in the middle, and now Tatiana's actually on the far right. So instead of serving Tatiana here, normally, like that's her thought, and that's what the coach was thinking, maybe, okay, serve 6. This is where Tatiana is, serve 6, serve 6. The libero actually went into 6. So, small detail, but huge, crucial point. Serves libero, perfect pass. Tatiana gets freed up for the pipe, hits it easily. A lot of seams in the block. So small tactical error there. I don't know who messed that one up. You got to be able to see what's going on the fly. So other teams switch up their lineup. That's a good serve. Again, I want to say something Sanjay Moon. I want to say her name is Moon something, but she's got a top float serve also. She's got an amazing float serve. So again, 17, that was your serving target. Now they're bringing a sub. 17, so I'd like to see if she starts and leaves 6 in there, because decent pass. Oh, that's a good deflection. There you go. Good deflection. I'd like to see if number 6 stays in, because 17 really hasn't done anything. Pretty good bump set. Way to come outside in. Shortened approach, but I mean, that's way too much light. Look at that. Hands didn't have much purpose. Hands are just kind of up there hanging. Hands didn't have much purpose on this block. They really got to fold over and down quicker than that. See right there? They're just kind of hanging us right up and down. The hand, she hit you right in the hands. You should be able to deflect that back. More purpose with the hands and the wrists when you're blocking. You got to really direct that ball. That ball's being hit hard. You got to really direct the ball. Leverage. Good float serve. Great pass. She can't get, both setters right now can't get to these pretty good passes. They're not that bad. They got to stay at the net and get these little bit more hittable sets here. This is a tough situation for Eshkebeski. 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 It's the team in orange. Okay, what do we got here? Hill to the left here. Yeah. Nice over the top. That's a great set. So you're overloading. This is perfect. This is gap go. This works from. This has worked for ages. This is their perfect situation with this lineup right here. You have a pretty superstar middle who's jumping really high. Look how high she is. You're overloading this. Brazil's like men's team really made this play famous in the 90s here. Kind of this where it's either going to get picked off here or picked off here. We have two pretty overloading. And then you have your front row opposite who's legit. So you can run a pretty far isolation play. So it's pretty much anything you want. Overloading the left, gap go, and then right back. There's no chance. That ball's going to be crushed anytime. That was their number one. I can guarantee you that was their number one side-out rotation. I would have put some kind of... I would have just gone for that serve, either hit or miss. Even if you serve it in, it's pretty tough. I would have gone for an ace. Again, that's not a bad pass. I don't understand. Not sure how she doesn't do a little bit something better with that ball, especially at this level. This is the World Championship. Surprising. Really bad toss. Good ace. Again, bad toss and she hits it deep. Remember the last time a lot of players kind of bad toss and they kind of chip it in? She's kind of got a bad toss and then she drives it deep line. Poor decision by chasing again. You got to know your hitter here. A little bit better of a toss. Not looking good. Desperate hit. You can't hit the ball in the net like this. Even if she hit it over, she's just getting... This is a great two-man block. This is a perfect block right here. Maybe a little high with the hands, especially on a high ball like that, and she's going low, a little bit too high with the hands, but good placement. Look how well the hands are isolated over the net. Together, I mean. It's a little high, obviously she hits the ball in the middle of the net, but as a hitter like that, you just can't make that mistake. Yeah, they're struggling right now. The setter's struggling. Both setters have struggled this whole match for the orange team. Even this new one that came in when they were in the 6-2. Last game, the first set was not very close at the beginning either, but Boskovic kind of lit up the serve, and then Tatiana made some good plays and get some good hits. They got some good contribution around. The Italian team is playing at a pretty high level right now. Their opposite's going off. She's unstoppable right now. She's untouchable. They've replaced 17 with a better passer. With Hill, the opposite, and number 7 in the front row at the same time. That's just unreal. So let's see if they leave number 6 in. This is kind of my key here. I think even though they've... Yeah. Gosh, really struggling with location. That's crazy. If you're falling away and back like this, don't try to slide this underneath people here. If you've mistimed this and your back looks like that and you're falling down completely, don't try to drag it down with you here. Try to do everything you can to chip the top of the hands or something to get it back, because you got a lot of coverage here. You got a pretty good block coverage here. Try to keep it up there or tap it somehow, but don't let gravity bring you down with you like that. You gotta fight that gravity and just kind of chip it. There's obviously a mistiming, so I mean, you gotta do something. All right, back into row 1 here for Ejgabaski. I'm just gonna start, just keep butchering that name. Boscovich is back in. The main setter is back in. Gotta serve here, right? Good rally. There you go, Boscovich. That's the Boscovich I usually see. That is the Boscovich that you see normally, that everybody gets out of the way over here. If the ball's over here, everybody leaves, and she hits this complete side of the court. Everything over here is Boscovich. This is Boscovich territory here. This is her. So she's going to fly in no matter where it is, because she's left-handed, and she can fly in and give me a huge bump set, and she'll run in even in the center of the court and put some heat on this ball. That is classic Boscovich teams. That's what you get. That's why she gets paid. I mean, it's not just why, but that's one of the main reasons why you have her. That's got to be a main strategy of you. Just clear out. So let's see. They're going to serve here or here, because sometimes if you do that way, the outside hitter has to go in and then go out. But you really got to make sure that you get on her right arm really a lot, or do this to get her back. Basically, the ball's not coming this direction over here. Let's see. Yeah, that was a good serve. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this opposite's going off right now. I like the change here. I like how she's going a slide and then coming on tip. I don't like the slide. I don't like the slide hit right here and then the D like right behind it. I do like this kind of inside the gap though area. I don't like how some teams run the slide and then the D right here, because the middle, even if she guesses wrong, she's still there. I like this, how it's still running this gap right here, so there's a space between these two players. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm going to start running that. I like that a lot. Good serve, obviously. You want to get her to the left. She's on the ground. This is perfect. You get the outside hitter on the ground passing, that's perfect. But this middle blocker guess is too much. You got to know. You got to be going that direction if she's on the ground. Wow, she's hitting at a high level here. Good use of her energy. Good, her whole body goes in and then really lines up really straight. I like how straight she gets. I like how elastic, and then I like how aerodynamic she gets with her body hitting that ball. It's pretty impressive. She really leans out and straightens up to get maximum reach and maximum height, maximum velocity, so that's pretty good. All right, so we got a pretty good server now here. Yep, they've left 6 in, just like I thought they would. She's playing all the way around now. They're going to serve to the left, far side. Missed the spot. Good block. So you can see pretty much Tatiana's bailing out. They don't want to miss. I guess they just don't want to miss because they've been serving pretty well and they have them on the ropes. So you don't want to miss. Tatiana's been getting all the sets over here. She's opening up pretty good early. Remember, 17, the last blocker, has also been missing blocking-wise. She hasn't been lining up really well. Good hand. So that's what I'm talking about when I say blocking and finishing your move early. See how this hand's dipped over and there's like leverage on top of it and she's over the net here. This hand's straight and flat. This hand's around her body and then dipped. So there's good leverage. She's finished. She's done with her move there. See, there's no, after she blocks it, there's no more penetration, there's no more extra movements. She's already finished with that move. This is a great block. They've also set Tatiana every single time on the right side in this row. They're getting pretty predictable in their offense right now, which isn't a good sign. The setter's limitations are really not having the best game right now. So the offense has become pretty predictable. Again, here comes this serve here. They're going to release outside for her. Boscovich, I'm going to assume they're setting Boscovich here. They have to set Boscovich here. Or the middle. They've gone away from the middle a lot. Maybe they're just going to surprise them here. There's the serve, but no, they can't pass. Of course, Boscovich here. Boscovich on the lefty outside, stuff straight down. That's pretty much, you pretty much knew what was going to happen, but you got to execute the block, of course. But nice block. She's getting way over. And then, that's good. See, the difference between before is they were hitting it and they were there when they were hitting it before. Now she's pressed there. She's over the net when the ball is being contacted. So they've made that adjustment. They've pressed earlier. So definitely an adjustment on that part, but you knew the ball where it was going. And hitter tips: when you're hitting and like that, you know the team knows where you're going. You got to hit something pretty hard and flat. That was kind of just a medium. Like I said, if you're just going to hit medium, that was a hard velocity, but just a medium right in the medium part of the court. So you got to either hit high hands medium, like really high hands medium, or you got to hit and turn your body somewhat to a different angle, right? Yeah, they don't care. They don't care where they're serving right now. Their defense is just on top of their game, like that. There we go. So Boscovich, this is what I was talking about. What, as a hitter, what you should do here instead of just hitting that medium part of the court. There you go. I didn't even see it go down, but I just knew before. Attack the smaller blocker. Obviously, the setter's there. She makes a great adjustment. That's what I'm talking about. Don't just hit the medium part of the court. Good adjustment. All right, interesting row here, row 5. They haven't set number 6 at all for the Italian team. Hill and their opposite are back row. Let's see what they run here. Yeah. Yeah, so you got the opposite and you got Hill. Both are 2 main attackers back row. Number 6 hasn't hit yet. Number 6 passed. The only option really was the slide or the back row, opposite hitter. Challenge, I'm not sure, maybe a net. I'm sure they're trying to challenge the net, maybe, yeah. No, they did get it. I'd like to see if I really like to have seen how they got out of that row again. They'll have one more time though. It almost doesn't even matter where they serve right now. They can't pass. I love that gap go. This hitter hits it pretty well too. It's so hard on the middle. It's so difficult on the middle, that gap go. The ball just comes over the top so fast. It looks like the other play. That was just pretty much a prayer. That was literally like, here's a high ball pipe. Let's just pray and hope that this player is good enough to do something crazy and out of body and just, that was like, that's what you call pretty much a, I don't know, I'm not going to say a miracle play because I mean it's not like a miracle, but I mean that's just pretty much a hope play. That was just, there's the gap go again. Oh, nice stop. Yeah, you better start setting Boscovich a lot with an overload here. That was their only chance last game that they won. This is probably the only chance this game they got. Good, good, good. Pipe again. Wow. Wow. Try to challenge the setter, and the setter just, no. From the back row, she tried to challenge, but good press. Took away a small part of the court, which at least she took away. She took over what, if it was going to hit her hand, she's going to get blocked. Nice, I like that back one here. Good reaction with the help, because your main girl is Boscovich here, but pretty decent still reaction. Good pass, good hit. All right, Boscovich, here we go. They really need a side out here. This, if they don't score any points off this, it's over this set at least. Yeah, definitely high ball to her. Oh, you hate to see that kind of play happen. Just kind of a broken up play, easy kind of. There you go. Oh, she's just tapping. Oh, how did Boscovich not kill that? Okay, good rally here. Let's see what she's got. Nice. We did a really, wow. Hill, the ball's really inside. Hill creates a new line. So the ball's so far inside here, you're really in trouble if you're going to over-rotate with a lefty. You're gonna over-rotately swing out. So Hill's kind of set up a new line here, and then basically this is like the antenna. So the court looks like this now. She could have taken some speed off and gotten to this area, but still she's flying in with that much force going one direction. To turn it back is difficult. So the libero kind of steps in on this new lane here. This new lane that's created. pretty nice. She's really not jumping now. She's kind of just the opposite there. It's kind of just, she kind of looks like she took the last couple plays off, to be honest. Maybe she's kind of conserving her energy too, using her height. I'm not sure exactly what the score is at this point, but it's got to be close to the end. And they probably are up by a few points too. Opposites are interesting creatures. Opposites, usually the more stress, the more pressure, the more situation, they jump and hit harder, and then if they're down, they play, but if they're up, they don't really care as much. I don't know, opposites are interesting players. Nice serve. That's right in that gap. So they're going to, so again, there's two strategies. One strategy hitting it to the line, one strategy hitting it right in the seam, so she has to pass to her right and then get in there. Yeah, no.